Well, hello everybody and happy Thursday. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, so it's either a winter storm or a hurricane, generally, and I can tell you it's not a winter storm. So there's a hurricane threat for the Carolinas early next week. You may have not seen it yet on the news because it's kind of just happening and things have shifted around in the last day or two. But what you're looking at here is kind of the northern Caribbean. The Bahamas are over here. Here's the Dominican Republic, and you see these big blobs of thunderstorms. These are really cold clouds you're looking at on this satellite. This is basically just an area of lower pressure, which is the start of hurricanes. And so it's not organized, it's not rotating, there are no really super high winds with this yet. But this is where the storm system is beginning, the one that's going to potentially impact us early next week. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. First is just one particular model, which is a bad thing to do, and you should not believe this model. However, it kind of sets the stage for what's happening, and then I'm going to show you kind of the possibilities. So basically this weekend, what to expect? Well, this is going to be an unsettled weekend. So this is kind of right now, and there's going to be some thunderstorms this evening, overnight, into Friday morning. Then we see more rain tomorrow, Friday. This is a frontal system that's near us. Saturday actually looks like the wettest of the days here. So we could get a couple inches of rain here in Charlotte just from this frontal system. And if you look to the south, we just see emerging is this new tropical storm, which would be called Imelda. And it's moving northward, and we actually see another storm behind it. This is Hurricane Umberto. So this is actually very rare to have two storm systems like this, two potential tropical systems so close to each other in the western Atlantic. And if I step this forward, you can see basically this particular model has the storm moving northward, and sometime late on Monday, overnight Tuesday into Tuesday morning, making landfall kind of in the northern South Carolina area and moving inland. Again, you should not look at the exact track and believe this, but basically what's happening is as the storm is moving northward, there's a system in the upper levels that it's trying to interact with, and that's kind of helping it nudge westward. If the storm is a little slower and Umberto's a little faster, they could interact more and it could pull it further out to sea. And so those are kind of the possibilities. So it's better to look at wide track guidance. So this is an ensemble of hurricane forecasts. So again, you see kind of north, the very southern edge of the Atlantic, just north of the islands here. You can see this is kind of where that blob of thunderstorms are. And you can see over the next day or so, it's going to slowly move through the Bahamas, and then move into the central Bahamas, and then eventually take this track. But again, like anything in meteorology, the farther out in time, the more uncertain we get. So you see how the cone widens here. So anything from like kind of Florida-Georgia line all the way up to Wilmington, with South Carolina kind of being in the bullseye. And again, this has shifted. Yesterday, all of these models were way over here. So this has been slowly shifting westward. So it could continue to shift. It could shift back. So that's one to keep in mind. The other thing is, I like this graphic. This is a lot of different models all put together. And I like this because it's a heat map of probability. So the brighter the colors, yellows, oranges, and reds, the higher the likelihood that the storm is going to go in this direction. And so you can see there's a pretty high probability that it's going to take a track somewhere through the central Bahamas and end up somewhere in here late in the weekend, Sunday into Monday. But then you can see there's quite a bit of probabilities over here, kind of staying out to sea, but there's an equal number of probabilities that are going to have it making landfall somewhere in South Carolina or southern North Carolina sometime Monday night into Tuesday. So again, you can see this is still pretty wide, but I will say that this was over here yesterday, and now it has shifted, and now it looks more likely that a southeastern landfall could potentially happen. And then you may ask about strength. That's another big question. It's actually easier to forecast hurricane track usually than strength. But strength, it really depends. It's going to be moving over very warm waters, but there's potentially some shearing, there's some dry air around, so it's really hard to tell how strong it would get. But this could be a high-end tropical storm, or it could be a low-end hurricane as it approaches the Carolina coast sometime early next week. So we'll have to pay attention and watch this. I'll have more updates as we get closer to the event. I really wanted to put this video out just so people are aware of the possibility and impacts in Charlotte. This thing would be moving on shore pretty slowly, so I don't think wind would be a huge impact here, but the rainfall could be. So depending on where this goes, like worst case scenario, we're seeing 8, 10, 12 inches of rain from this. or we see nothing. And I know that's a terrible kind of wide cone there, but really it depends on this track. And this is hundreds and hundreds of miles across. So if you see things posted on social media or online that are showing you a track or some specific direct hit, just take that with a huge grain of salt. This thing's really, really wide cone of error right now. So those are the possibilities. That's the update. I try to keep this under 5 minutes. So yeah, I'll look forward to making some new videos with some new data, hopefully tomorrow and into the weekend. So enjoy your Thursday night, everybody.